Every generation has this story they tell themselves. A story about some new, terrifying thing that's going to corrupt all the kids, totally upend society, and, probably end civilization as we know it. We thought we'd seen it all, right? We survived new kinds of music, we survived new dance moves, we survived new media. We figured, hey, we're prepared for anything.
And then, this happened. The one single thing we always thought was ours, was uniquely human, creativity? Yeah, that suddenly got outsourced. The story we're all telling ourselves today is that the machines aren't just coming for our jobs anymore. Nope. Now they're coming for our souls.
And that right there, that is the real anxiety. It's not about some new tool. It's that creeping feeling that we might not even be in the top 3 smartest entities in our own homes anymore. And that specific cocktail of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, well, that's the engine driving our latest, greatest moral panic. Okay, let's dive into this. The great AI apocalypse of 2024. But this isn't about killer robots from some sci-fi future. It's about something way, way closer to home. It's about the algorithm that's living in your pocket right now. So let's look at the official list of algorithmic offenses causing all this anxiety. You've got chatbots basically acting as therapists for our kids. The entire internet is being flooded with what people are calling AI slop. And hey, if a fake song is an absolute banger, what does that even mean for real artists anymore? It seriously feels like the ground is just shifting under our feet, and reality itself is suddenly negotiable. So here's the crucial thing to get: the massive gap between the apocalyptic fear and the messy reality. We were afraid of mass unemployment, the end of writing as a skill, but what's actually happening is more of an evolution. Sure, jobs are changing and kids are learning a brand new skill, how to talk to the machine. It's less of an apocalypse and more of a really, really weird adaptation. Think about it. A new technology that adults just do not understand, that kids adopt almost instantly, and that threatens to change absolutely everything? This whole feeling of fear and confusion, haven't we been here before? Let's find out. Let's hop in a time machine and go all the way back to 1985. The threat back then wasn't artificial intelligence, it was heavy metal and pop music. But the fear? Oh, the fear was exactly the same. Some new form of media was out there corrupting the kids.
And it all kicked off right here. The Parents Music Resource Center, the PMRC, was founded by a group of powerful wives in Washington, D.C. Why? Because one of them, Tipper Gore, bought Princess Purple Rain for her 11-year-old, heard the lyrics to Darling Nikki, and completely freaked out. A nationwide panic was literally born from a single record player.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The PMRC created this list. They called it the Filthy 15 to warn parents about all this dangerous music. But what they really did was create the ultimate shopping list for every single teenager in America. They weren't just condemning songs, they were giving them the best free advertising imaginable.
But this pattern, this whole panic thing, it didn't start in the 80s. Oh, no. Let's go back even further, to a time when the biggest threat to Western civilization wasn't a song lyric, but a dance move.
I want you to meet the big bad of 1956, sinful oscillation. I'm not making that up. That was the actual term used by concerned adults to describe the way Elvis Presley danced. It wasn't just dancing to them. It was a demonic act, a physical sign of cultural decay that suggested, that teenagers might know how babies are made. And this is where it just gets beautifully absurd. Look at these warning signs. Young people appearing happy, music with more than one drum, the preacher's daughter actually enjoying herself. The threat was just youth culture finding its own voice, finding its own joy, and the adult world just could not handle it. So we've got AI in 2024, explicit lyrics in 1985, and gyrating hips back in 1956. When you lay them all out side by side, a really clear, really predictable pattern starts to emerge. You start to see the anatomy of the panic itself.
From immoral gyrating to the Filthy 15, all the way to the AI apocalypse, this timeline shows us that these aren't just a bunch of unique events. It is a recurring cycle of generational fear. The technology changes, sure, but the human reaction to it stays shockingly consistent.
And here's the kicker. The reaction to whatever the sin is almost always backfires, spectacularly. They tried to cancel Elvis by burning his records. It just made him the biggest star on the planet. They slapped warning labels on albums. Sales shot up. They declared AI art is just slop, and now prompt engineer is a 6-figure job title.
The effort to control the new thing is usually what makes it so powerful.
It literally follows a script. It's like a 5-act play that just repeats over and over. A new thing appears. Adults panic. A committee is formed to think of the children. The forbidden fruit suddenly becomes irresistible. And then finally, everyone calms down and that revolutionary threat just becomes Tuesday. It's just a normal part of life.
In fact, the arguments are so predictable you can make a game out of it. It doesn't matter if you're at a PTA meeting in 2024 or a Senate hearing back in 1985, you are going to hear the same lines. It's not real art. Won't someone please think of the children? And my personal favorite, a very confused-looking politician trying to regulate something they barely understand.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? If we know the playbook, what have we actually learned from this recurring cycle of fear, uncertainty, and doubt?
The core lesson here is that these panics are temporary, but change is permanent. Trying to stop a new technology is like trying to stop the tide from coming in. The creative world doesn't get destroyed, it just evolves. And, like it says here, the very people complaining about the new tool are almost always using some version of it within a decade.
And make no mistake, this cycle is absolutely going to continue. The specific technology will change, of course, but that feeling of being left behind by the next generation, of not understanding their tools or their culture, that is a constant. The AI panic will fade, only to be replaced by something even weirder. I guarantee it. Which really just leaves us with one final question. If we can see the pattern this clearly, can we predict what's coming next? What new creation is waiting just over the horizon, getting ready to terrify all the parents of 2035? But maybe the most important lesson from all of this is actually a really reassuring one. Through all the panics, all the hearings, the warnings, and all the dire predictions, the kids always turn out okay. They adapt, they create, and they build the future using the very tools we were all so afraid of. They always have, and they always will.